And you'll probably
Right.
hear some bad things that don't need to be in this. So
Right on, right on,
yeah.
right on. There might be some surprise yelling. I hope, but on my end. But we'll deal with that when.
Do you have roommates?
Well, I've got Sierra and Austin and.
Oh, you're living with them in Monterey, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to school in Monterey or what? Online school?
Yeah. Well, I'm next semester I might be going to school here, but I also might be going up with like Aunt Jeannie maybe.
Oh, interesting. So, where, Texas or Montana?
Montana.
Montana.
Yeah. So I'm not.
Justin's in Montana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like a couple hours from them, but yeah. So should be.
So do you live like right near the beach?
So it's like how many minutes? It's like 25 minutes from the beach. So it's close. It's close enough.
Yeah. Do you ever go on runs or anything there?
Yeah. So there's hills and I run I run the hills sometimes. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then I mean there's plenty of places. It's like it's sort of got like this odd it's got like a small town thing, but it's like a small town thing, but the older people are more involved, are the most involved, and they're like super active. But
yeah. So do you kind of feel like an old guy?
Actually, I mean, a little, as far as the experience in life, I don't know that I have the trying to gain wisdom and whatnot, but I don't know. I feel older than
you should.
well, I'm 25, and I feel like maybe I should be I feel like mentally I'm at least 27. I mean, I don't know.
You got a 2-year jump.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself in a
more mature state?
Yeah, it's recording. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't. So would you call yourself an old soul or something different? What do you think?
I've gotten an old soul by so many people, right. And it's usually because of the music I listen to. And I've gotten it from this one lady because I was talking with her when I worked at Safeway. One of my favorite things to do was talk to get as personal as I could in the small time frame I had with the customers. And I was walking this lady out with the grocery cart to put all of her things away, and she was telling me how she was a physician's assistant, and she was super she was so intelligent, and how I was talking with her too, we were having really good back and forth, and she had told me, she's like how old are you, you don't even seem anything like that, and I was like, oh my god, thank you. But she had brain surgery and so much and you that's my favorite thing, because you never know what people have gone through, and this 10-minute time frame I had with her, I learned so much. And I'm never gonna see her again.
That's a great challenge, actually. Try and fit as much as you can in an interaction as humanly possible.
No, really, and I can talk fast, so I'm asking as many questions as I can do. Yeah, yes, I'm not employed right now, so that's the worst thing about it. Even not having money or anything, but for me, it's not being able to have conversations with people every day.
Yeah. And there's, I mean, I've actually I don't know, I'm probably on I'm on a lot, having trying to discuss things with people, but it's different than the actual just different than like face to face. I mean, it's face to face, like the Zoom or like
Oh, it's not the same.
Discord. Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
the same. How you've been doing more podcasts because of COVID, like just having more time at home?
Yeah. That and like it's definitely that. That might be the main thing. I also think like just my interests have just trying to I guess trying to satiate like that mental. There's like a mental thing that I feel like I'm like trying to satiate, and it's like yeah.
What do you
So
mean?
well, like trying to find like answers to to questions that I don't. Well, part of it is like, okay, I want to accomplish something, right? I want to build like a collection of things that people will say, that people will say, oh, that was good to like watch.
Yeah.
And then there's that, but then there's also like the trying to answer questions or explore things in a way that it's like answering questions you don't even know that you have until
Yeah.
you have the answer.
Until you
Almost.
have the opportunity for somebody to answer like whatever you're not even thinking of. That's what I was wondering, like the podcast, like how you said that you interviewed Joey, but then like you're also like you interview like these really insanely talented people, like people who have PhDs or like are getting their PhD, and then you asked to have a conversation with me. So I was like trying to like figure out like what you're doing with the podcast, like maybe just different walks of life or answering the questions that you don't even know you have.
Yes. Yeah. The other day somebody called it eclectic, which just means like a collection, right?
Yeah.
Of things. But I think I'm like trying to like answer, like I'm trying to get at, okay, the importance of like the church, and the importance of like the church, and just like the importance of like exploring um like ideas. And then I do like to have a multitude of a multitude of like counsel on different topics. So like I was like preparing to talk to you, and it's like, okay, we'll see. And it's not, it's not less professional, but I feel like your point of view would be like a good addition to what's being like spoken about, I guess.
Yeah, no, I completely agree because my perspective is not at all like how the answers that and the conversations you were having with like the some of the podcasts that I saw. I was like, I'm not gonna be speaking like that, and I'm not gonna be able to tell you about the research I'm researching. And but I like the idea that I am gonna be talking about like more like just completely different topics, and I think that that's cool. My other question is, do you have like a maybe like one general question that you ask everybody, or like
Um,
do you try and stay like try and get a topic like out of everybody like the same topic?
yeah, there's one that took from somebody else. He asked this question online, but I can. There's one. Do you want me to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. So Isabella, what do you think about God?
God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you said church, so I was like, cause I know that there's gonna get deeper in other parts, so this is interesting that this is your one question that you asked. Well, what a hard and tricky question, and coming from an 18-year-old, this is what I have to offer. I think that God is whatever you make it out to be. I think that religion is a very beautiful thing throughout history, but I also think that it's a very horrific thing throughout history. And I do know that humans aren't perfect and we're learning as we go. we used to act like. But I think that for me personally, I don't believe in any specific religion, because I think that they all teach us teach like significant things that you can take from each religion, something that you can take personally. And it is very personal. I know that humans need structure. So I think that that's why religions were like ultimately made, because like, okay, and then also we don't know the answers to everything, but for some reason we have this need to know the answer for everything, so then we make up these answers, so it creates comfort. That's another big thing I think of it, is the comfort aspect, because like one of the big question is we don't know what happens when we die, so it brings comfort to people being able to say, well, you'll see them again, like your loved one's in a better place now and stuff like that. I have so much to say. I'm just gonna like it's like a bullet point in my head. I'm like, okay, and this is my other bullet point. Is I think that a lot of religion is run on fear. Because okay, I personally think that everything in the world is run on love or fear. And so they really, and okay, but a lot of the church is money too, but we're not gonna talk about that. But a lot of the fear aspect.
I had a friend who said everything is either, and I don't know, everything is either love or a cry for love was his one distinction. But we'll go with love and fear. Okay.
I think that religion has a lot to do with fear, because, and okay, see, my thoughts are not all. If you were to ask me this question and I can write out a really nicely written essay, I would like love that. But this is how my brain works. This is what I do before I write essays. I put every single idea I have down, just and then I look through it, I circle a number, and I'm like, okay, this goes with this goes with that. That doesn't need to be said, and like everything. Okay, I'm doing it now. Okay, well, okay. I said fear. Okay, religion, the main thing, like they work with fear is like, imagine telling your child, if you sin as little as lying, you're gonna burn in hell for the rest of eternity. If you were a child and you heard that, of course you're not going to sin, and of course you're going to listen to whatever they're telling you like is right, because that's terrifying. That is the most terrifying thing I ever heard. And then I think it's so hypocritical, because then they'll be like, well, like you're crazy for not believing in it, like how could you be so crazy, or to believe like this other religion, but like you are saying the craziest things, like you're saying what an insane person would say. And then I don't know, it's really complicated. There are like Buddhism is a very beautiful religion, but then there's it's complicated, because there's a lot of things in religion that are restricting, but then I think that's also the point, because it teaches like self-control and stuff like that. But
yeah, so what you're I feel like you're touching on is well first there was a conception of hell that I learned relatively recently, that was so this idea of like eternal like burn in hell for eternity, right?
mm-hmm.
The way that I'm starting to see it now is that if somebody shows you like what hell is like, if you do something wrong to somebody, and then that person, or let's say somebody does something wrong to you, and you decide to show that person love instead of like violent retaliation or something, if you decide, okay, I'm going to show that person love, that person can choose to either take the love and be transformed in a positive way by it, or to become even more horrible, this horrible thing. And that is one way of looking at what hell is not being transformed by something good, like not allowing something good to transform. So that was just that. Yeah, that was one thought I
So you talking like that about it, I see it from like, if I weren't a human, how would I look at us thinking of it? And I think it is just us like we have a thing with meaning, so we put meaning on every little thing. And we're like, there's so many ways to look at life. So many, like you can say nothing matters, like nothing matters, or you can be like nothing matters, like, you know, like, so you putting that meaning on it like that, like, it's really interesting, because like, I don't know, like, and then as you get older, your perspective is going to change more, and hell isn't going to mean just burning in eternity like that. Like, that's so weird in a good way.
Yeah. No, I think it will change, and hopefully change in a way that's better and more useful for living. That's kind of like my standard. Like when you, like, that's kind of my standard. When you mentioned like the comfort, like, you know, knowing that your grandparent or something, you're gonna they're in a better place, right? Or they're somewhere else, and you might see them. First, that does align with like a certain, it's called orthodoxy. Like they believe there's a when people die, they aren't actually dead. They become part of I forgot what it's called. They're basically watching now. They're watching over, right?
Yeah.
And they're part of this, what was it called? Not a council, but like they're enthroned or something. And it was really, when I heard this point of view, it like, I use the word satiated, like it satiated a like a need, or it satiated a part of me that was like, oh, that, it was just so, yeah. And it was an example of like my worldview changing for what I thought was the better, right?
Yeah.
Or changing for the better, and like, yeah, this stuff, it's interesting how you hear things and they like,
Your world flip.
yeah.
Everything's different. What was I gonna say? Oh my god, I had a.
Was it about death, like dying?
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is really conflicting for me, because I can say, this is a thought that I have. Do you remember what it was like before you were born?
No. So
I feel like that's what it is after death.
Yeah.
But science and just the universe and everything is so magical that when people give me these things and say, well, I think this and this, I can't just be like, oh, you're crazy. Like, no way. Like, things don't make sense so much that anything is possible. And you like you close your mind to so many doors that like walking through, like, it could be amazing if you say, well, that doesn't make any sense, you know? So like keeping that open mind to anything, like there could be mermaids there, you know, there could be a heaven there. You could, when you die, you go into another universe of your same self, just a different timeline. Like there's like infinity amount of things that could be. So why just be like, eh? So I feel like religion, when you're really dedicated to one religion, your doors are closed and you aren't allowed to think differently, because then you're wrong. But are you wrong? Are you?
Yeah. And that's like two different traditions in religion. Like you have the like, I would call it maybe like the dogmatic tradition, which is like, here are the rules, and the more like, here's what we explicitly believe, and it's sort of like, it's like the dogmatic element, right? Does that make sense? Like the order, right?
Yeah, the structure and the rules.
Yes. And then there's the like the in religions you have the dogmatic element, and then the more open element, which is like the exploration, um, which I don't know. Have you? I've thought it all about like there is, I feel like in religions, like there is room for that more open spirit, but it's less, it's like people don't talk about that element so much
Yeah.
anymore.
So
Yeah.
for me, even if that religion, whatever religion I would choose to dedicate myself to, I personally still don't feel comfortable with that, because I feel like I have a pretty steady mind, and I'm progressing every day because I have a goal to progress, and I'm positive and optimistic, and
Yes.
when I have a goal I can get there. And I
Yes.
feel like I'm doing that on my own, and I don't need
That's my favorite
anything
thing.
to tell me to, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
And I feel like a lot of it, another thing, it doesn't bother me, but it is what how people take it. But when somebody is going through a hard time and they're struggling, and then somebody tells them, well, just ask God, like look for God, and then they find a way to get over their struggles and their hardships. But for me, that God is themselves, and it's been in them the entire time. But they give credit to whatever God or whatever being like got them through it, but it was them. So I think people need to give themselves more credit and be like able to do things themselves. But I know that a lot of people aren't as capable to do that, and some people do need more guidance and more structure and stuff like that.
Yes, I do agree that there is like when that people need to pat themselves on the back sometimes and say, you know,
Yeah.
I did something good here, or I'm uh, like trust their consciousness basically, like if I yeah. And then I think the point of like part of me is like, and I'm just like thinking kind of like about this right now, like is there is more, like there's your conscious awareness, and there is something more beyond that you're kind of like, there is more, and that more is like the transcendent, like that
Yes.
is, and that's sort of like the like that to me seems like
Higher
a
being.
yeah, that feeling of something, that feeling is like the perception of God, maybe.
Yeah. So I know that they're okay. I think that everything is energy, and some energy is stronger than other energy. So like when you take a psychedelic, or people take like DMT, especially on DMT, everybody has a similar experience, and they see this energy and this being. So I know that there is more than what we know. I always use this analogy. So like take a rabbit, you can like
Cool.
calculus is a thing, right?
I,
But
I
like,
heard you I heard you talk with Felipe about this
yeah,
rabbit. Yeah.
do you
Go
know who
ahead.
said it? Where I got it from? Russell
Um,
Brand.
Russell Brand.
He's like amazing to me. He's just like a crack, like he's like just doesn't like he's amazing to me. But the analogy is that you like calculus is a thing, but if you're trying to explain calculus to a rabbit, there's absolutely no way. There's no way that it can conceptualize it, understand it, but calculus still exists. So there are things that because we could be so dumb. We could be like, we do put ourselves on a really high like step, but we could be very like stupid. So there are things out there that we don't understand and that we'll never be able to conceptualize. So that's why I don't say no to anything, basically.
Yeah. And I'm actually reading a book right now. It's called it's called The Discarded Image, and it's basically about like the medieval worldview and how he got into that the people putting themselves on a pedestal, or at least it was like this age, like some ages putting themselves on a pedestal over other like ages in history, or like yeah so yeah, I do think that's a human flaw.
It's the ego.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what you would call this. Maybe you know the word for it, but when say like you zoom into our iris or something like that, it looks like the galaxy, or like but like basically like we are the universe. And I'm made out of the same thing as my car's made out of. I'm made out of the same thing that your glasses are made out of. I'm made out of the same thing that rabbit that doesn't know about calculus is made out of. So I don't understand how we think we're so important to this level of the destruction that we cause. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that that's like a main thing that people need to just realize.
I do. Yeah. Understanding that we are of the same substance, right. And there's a connection, especially like between like people. Like we're definitely more connected than people like think usually.
And think of an octopus, or like just like other animals. They're intelligent in things that we aren't intelligent in, so maybe we just got lucky with our opposable thumbs and whatever else that makes us like more productive and create societies and religion. But are we really that much more important?
And I mean, if they sell it, I think in the ability to witness what's going on, like it's like in the ability to witness, I think that we have something
like to experience.
Yeah. So I think
I do agree to an extent, but how far does that extent go where we can exploit things so much?
Right.
We should be using it better, and we haven't been doing so well with that. But then also I like think about other intelligent life, and like there's like so many things that people say, but like some of them like, what if we like, because anything's possible, so what if we are the only thing that is out there? Or what if we are the smartest thing that's out there? Like, it's so weird to think about.
Yeah, that I've heard the opposite so many times that, so I think mathematically we're probably not the
it's only. It's almost impossible.
Mathematically, it just seems, it seems absurd, but maybe. But
life is absurd, so.
Right.
Because it could also be that we are the only things living at this time.
Yeah.
But time could be different in a different galaxy, so time is relative. Time is made up.
What are you doing here? This is yeah. No, that also puts a like wrinkle, like
what is time, the fourth dimension or something?
It's something like something like that. Time. Yeah.
You know what me and my friends were saying? That time travel, because we had like the most heated argument. Okay, wait, actually it wasn't an argument, because it was like oddly like we were working together on this, because we were trying to figure out if time travel could actually work, because there's the grandfather clause that tries and debunks it. But we were like talking about like wouldn't the grandfather clause not work, because only if when you time travel back in time, you hop into a different universe. So the timeline is a completely different timeline. So you would be able to kill your grandpa. Yeah.
Wait, what? One more time, that last bit.
Do you know what the grandfather clause is?
No.
Okay, so this is why people think time travel doesn't work, because if you were to go back in time and kill your grandfather, how did your grandfather have your mother and then your mother had you for you to go back in time in the first place to go and kill him? So that's how people try and like make it not make sense. But we were saying, what if time travel was when you go back in time and like hop to a different timeline, like a different universe because of the multiverse? So somehow, and then so you're in a completely different timeline, so you would be able to do that, because at that point, like that fate, oh my god, I want to ask you about that, but like basically like that fate isn't already written out because it's a different timeline. And in that timeline, you time traveled back in time and killed your grandfather, but the one where you're still living, you don't. So your grandfather is still able to give birth to your mom, and then, or you know what I mean. Sorry, I'm like going in. But that was my question about fate. Do you think that fate is written out for you? Like it's gonna happen either way? Or do you have the power to determine your fate?
I think you have a power to determine your fate. It's weird. There's a idea that like there's the deterministic idea, right, where everything's determined, right, and then there's the free will argument where you have free will, and you can basically you choose where you go, or where you end up, your destiny. And I tend to think that you should act as if your will is free, right?
Okay.
Because that will lead you somewhere that you're consciously trying to go. There's also a little bit separate. There's also the idea that you should align your will with God's will, or like the best, whatever you should align your will with God's will. I'll just put it like that. And there's a deterministic element to where it's determined, but the place that it's going is where you were, like, it's like almost like you end up somewhere that's
where you were destined to be? Or
no? Yeah, but I really have to like I feel like I gotta struggle with that a little bit more in order to
so
totally.
For me, like, so how you were saying that you have the free will to be able to decide what direction you go in, for me, I think your thought of having that was written in your fate. So I think that fate is destined, and anything that is like that's just because that is what's written already.
I know. This is an argument that Fyodor Dostoevsky, a Russian novelist, made, and so he said that man, he said, man is not, he said, okay, so if you could prove to me that my actions were determined, right? And then you say, okay, so I'm going to go against the action.
That was in
That's
the
also determined.
yeah.
So then you try to do this back and forth, and everything, he says, and then if everything was tabulated, man is so stubborn, he would go mad just to prove his point.
Yeah.
Right. And that man's like that like stubbornness to try and get around the determinism was actually like almost like an admirable thing in humankind. Like, damn you, fate! Like I will. Yeah. So that was.
I have like the opposite view of it. So I do think that like for me to have the ability to be like, well, me thinking that is my fate as it is. Like it's almost like relieving, and I'm like, well, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like I can go down whatever path I want. Like but it's hard to explain. I haven't been able to put it into words how I think of it, but it's in there. It's in there, and one day I'll be able to articulate it and say it smoothly so more people can understand what I'm trying to say. But it's like relieving for me, and I can just go with the flow, and and whatever happens.
And yeah, and there's definitely something like relieving. There is, I feel like there is a little bit of like navigating that you have to do, like that's not strictly like deterministic. Like there is some yeah, and I think that's
because
like,
I know that it like okay, let me try and I'm trying here. I have control over what I do. But me knowing that I have control and knowing that I can do whatever I want, that's written in the fate. Me knowing that, and knowing that I can be a tattoo artist and go down that route and not care what other people think and not take things so seriously, because that gives me the control. You know?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, really.
Yeah, I think that sometimes, or a lot of the time, people just take things too seriously, and then it causes them unnecessary stress, and that's just a snowball effect for everything that happens throughout their life.
Yeah. I think there is a level of like, well, I think like having, it's like, okay, what's the like right amount of stress, right? Or what's the, and I think when you experience the right amount of stress, you don't even call it stress exactly. You call it like being like exhilarated or something like, or like, but
I think there are different stresses.
Yes.
Like when I'm about to jump off a cliff, I'm stressed, but I'm stressed. Like I'm happy to be stressed right now.
Right. And that would like having, yeah. And I don't know. Part of me is like, is there any value, I guess, like in the stress, like of a guy like on a cliff, right? That tension that is there. Like part of me is like, okay, the answer is in like that horrible situation or that horrible place. Like part of me is like, okay, the answer is in there, so, like somewhere. So I'm just like, there's 3 people in the meeting, and if you don't have like Zoom extra or whatever, it puts a time limit if you have more than two people. So I've got to either upgrade or find a better way, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Here, let
Okay,
me.
what I was saying, I was gonna bring up yin and yang, because I think that I really live my life on that, because you need the bad as much as you need the good. And I think that accepting the bad is what will help you maintain happiness, because the bad will be there and it's always going to be there, and it'll be stronger at some points and not as strong at other points, but it's going to be there. So you just need to accept it, and acceptance, like, so much relief comes from that. So, and then not all bad is like bad. So like that stress, like maybe for one person, that stress of jumping off the cliff is the worst thing in the world. But for me, that bad stress is a good thing for me. Like, it brings my body to its point that nothing else can, except for jumping off the cliff.
Yeah. That's important to I feel like important to recognize it, that there is some things that come off as bad that aren't actually, it's like that are actually, I don't know, I don't want to say like blessings in disguise, but that might be a good like beginning way to think about it.
And some things are intimidating, and people are scared of intimidating things.
Right. Only to find out that, like, through maybe the suffering there, like, there's something like glorious and good on the there's something glorious on the other side of a certain kind of suffering, because you don't want to like you know, throw yourself off a cliff, or do something like
into water. I want to clarify. I'm not talking about jumping off a cliff into water.
right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not excited to kill myself. But I do think that a lot of people growing, and a lot of people who have more complex personalities and more oomph to them, are the people who have been through the most. Because you learn a lot through those things.
I had a friend, he recently told me that he doesn't like people who've had a dark life are more interesting than dark people. Like, you have dark people.
Just because they had a dark life doesn't mean that they're dark themselves.
Right. Because you can choose. You can choose, right? If I mean, if you're into that,
the dark shit.
Yeah. You can choose the light, I guess, or going the right.
Are you religious?
I would call myself religious. I think, well, I would call myself wanting to understand, and just wanting to aim for yeah, I'll just put it like that for now. Wanting to understand, I guess.
So I feel like I'm on the same page of wanting to understand, but I feel like I have this thing with people labeling me, because then I'm like, well, now you're like putting me in this box that I don't want to be in, because I'm more than just that label. But I feel like if somebody were to hear my thoughts, they'd be like, oh, you're religious. You are. But I'm like, but I don't want that name. I don't want that label on me that I'm religious. But I think that religion is just the understanding and the love and the fear and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I've been trying to understand. Like, I don't know if there's a religion that sort of like calls to you more. I think that's something important to at least pay. That's important to at least pay attention to, is what religion speaks to you, if any, right? And
Yeah,
that's
so I think that mainly all of them do, because all have good values or nobody would be like interested in them. But then again, like Greek mythology also interests me. So like, and like I'm sure that there's other things that I haven't learned about out there that interest me.
yeah, no, totally. And I think that the reason, so mythology can interest you, and then the reason that something like Christianity or Buddhism or religion, Buddhism, like speaks to you is because like there is a truth to both of those things. There's a truth
Yeah.
in and yeah, as far as like the dogma of the church, because something that I noticed you were doing at the beginning of the conversation is you were laying out all the ideas you had associated with religion, like the good, the bad, the ugly, and that's like that is like I think you have a good understanding of like the double-edged like um the double-edged
I understand
nature of
both
religion.
sides. Yeah. That's the thing about me that I've noticed is it is hard for me to make decisions because I am so easily able to see both sides and understand them so well. My economics professor, I had a question, and it was about the government putting more money into like social security and stuff like that, and how that was causing the national debt to rise. But for me, I was like, but isn't the social security more important than whatever debt they're trying to like get to go down? And then he was telling me about how the individual, like, I forgot what he was saying, but like the individual production, like, so the individual success will eventually lead to the wealthier society and like everything like that. So putting the money into the social security isn't as important, but like I can see why people do view that as very important, and like and everything. And I was like giving him like both sides, and he was like, well, he's like, you are like you're winning both arguments right now. So like he like didn't know what to tell me.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Being able to juggle
Yeah.
like both sides like that. It'll definitely it makes I think it makes acting less important because you don't have to act on everything. Like eventually maybe you will, right? Eventually I mean I don't know.
What do you
I
mean
think
act?
well like in that situation you were acting in the form of thinking, but you weren't acting in like a more base sense, right? You were just you were getting the full view, right? The full picture, and that is more important to me. And I don't know what that says about my value like my value structure but yeah, I think that's more important, especially when your goal is to get an education. That's what you should be getting a well-rounded idea of the
Viewpoint.
of the
Yeah.
subjects that you're interested in.
Yeah, I've learned to like, I guess I'm like an observer, like especially with like say something like politics, like
do
I
you want to know a
observe
quote
what
real quick?
happened. Huh?
I have a quote. Do you want to? Sorry
I
to
want to hear it.
cut you off.
I want to
Okay,
hear it.
say your thing, and then I'll show you the quote.
No, give me the quote because I feel like I'm changing.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. So it's by John Stuart Mill, and he was basically helped form American political philosophy.
Okay, I've heard his name before.
Okay, yeah, he was what's called a utilitarian. So the utilitarians, I mean, they're kind of complicated, but
explain them.
Yeah, so it was, his quote was, "He who knows only his side of the case knows little of that. His reasons may be good, and no one may be able to refute them. But if he is equally unable to refute the reasons on the opposite side, if he does not so much as know what they are, he has no grounds for preferring either opinion, nor is it enough that he should hear the opinions of adversaries. Of adversaries from his own teachers, presented as they state them and accompanied by what they offer as refutations. He must be able to hear them from persons who actually believe them, and he must know them in their most plausible and persuasive form."
Yeah, because how would your argument in any sense be effective if you don't know what you're arguing against? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you need your refutation to make a point.
Right. And in order to get that yeah, it's something I've practiced, but I really like that formulation of it. Like, yeah. So I don't know if you have any more to say on that, or if you want to
Elaborate.
Yeah, or go wherever you were going to go before the.
Well, I guess it does kind of go into that, because a lot of politics is very one-sided, and they're like, this is what it's supposed to be like, and your opinion absolutely makes no sense, and I like all of that. So a lot of it is like, especially the radical sides, is so like, it's entertaining to a level, and I observe it. Like, I'm more of an observer, because they're like, I don't know, but I feel like them, like, they, well, I don't know.
What do you mean by observer?
Like, because how it's hard for me sometimes to form an opinion, so I just observe each side and let them do their thing and share their thoughts, and I observe how it plays out.
Okay.
And I don't add anything myself.
That's good sometimes. That's called, like, that's taking it in and like, yeah, that's reading. That's reading in a sense, right?
Oh, funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I have. Okay. On the, it's making me think of all these references. Okay. So he said, find my ed. So he talked about finding his advantage on the outside. So he said, oh gosh, where? Basically, he talked about like how you would. I really want to find it here. Hold on one second. On the standing side. Okay. He that speaks here, conversely, has done nothing so far but reflect. A philosopher and solitary by instinct, who has found his advantage in standing aside, and outside, in patience, in procrastination, in staying behind, as a spirit of daring and experiment that has already lost its way once in every labyrinth of the future, as a soothsayer bird spirit who looks back when relating what will come, as the perfect nihilist of Europe, who, however, has even now lived through the whole of nihilism to the end, leaving it behind outside himself. For one should make no mistake about the meaning of the title, the gospel of the future wants to bear. So he was basically saying, like,
you need to summarize that.
Yeah. So he was basically saying he had found his advantage on the outside, and sort of observing, and he felt like he had gone through the he had already thought about all the things that he had already solved the problems that everybody was going to have to solve in his own, he'd already been through the labyrinth of the future and figured out what people were going to need to figure out like in the future. So
and he's watching it play out.
Sort of the beginnings of, because he predicted basically the hold on 1 second here. He predicted a lot of things, and we have a guest here.
Hi.
What is going on?
Oh my god, who is this? Who are you?
You probably don't know me. I like your setup in the car.
I know. I like your setup, your room. What's happening?
Yeah. Okay. So I thought, I was like, oh, do I do this because it's the first, it's I don't know. I thought it'd be funny. I thought of it like the last set
time frame.
Yeah, he DM'd me and was like, "Hey, want to do something funny?" And I said, "Okay."
Okay, well, now it's joke time. Tell a joke. I'll put you on the spot.
I'm not telling a joke. That's not what I signed up for.
The worst thing in the world.
Hey, I'm not a comedian.
Ask a question.
What's that?
Ask us a question.
Okay. Okay, we'll just go with favorite colors for
purple.
Mine's green.
Green. All right, folks, you heard
Nature.
it. You heard it here, folks.
Favorite color.
Purple,
Barney.
purple, and green.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude. Okay, that's awesome. Hold on.
Is that Izzy?
Izzy and
Hello.
hi. Okay, we'll edit. We'll either edit this or not.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
We'll either,
keep it raw.
Right. That's probably the way to go. Oh, and we have
let's get Amber going. Where's Amber?
She's a River.
Damn it! Where's Kiana?
I wouldn't mine. It is Izzy's. I don't know if this is if you were like, were you caught off guard? Did you not?
Yeah, I thought
like
that
this?
she like hijacked it like somehow, or like it was an accident, and it like out of all the possible humans that could have accidentally gotten this Zoom, it's Jenna.
I'm like, I've been doing some hacking in my free time. You didn't know?
Yeah. My hacking class.
I love that idea that we were talking about possibilities, and then all of a sudden the most unlikely
Yeah.
Of accidental.
Of
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
The probability of it her
So,
coming.
Unlikely happenings.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just ask like we can just how's your schooling going, Izzy?
Me? I think it's going good. It's pretty interesting being online and not being able to go to class and meet new people, but I've done different things. I've gone to bike night, so I met a lot of people there, and I do a Reno burrito project where we pass out food to the homeless on Sundays. So I met a lot of people there. So I'm just trying my best to find any way to talk to other humans other than being on the computer.
Good. Yeah. That's good. Keep like that's something. Yeah. Keep talking to people. There's a rule, and it's like I think once you start asking questions of people, the social landscape becomes much more of like it's like, oh, there's so much, like this is useful to me, like to be like social and talking.
Yeah, and it's definitely a skill, and I've definitely got better at it over like the past 2 years.
So Jenna, would you call yourself a people talker tour?
Oh yeah.
People, yeah, I talk to a lot of people. Sometimes it depends on my mood, actually.
She's one of my favorite people to go out in public with because we always talk to random people.
Good.
That's because you'll never see them again, and then you don't really have to worry about, you're like, oh, they're gonna see me next time and be like, oh, what did she say? But
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
See, she gets it.
I don't know why I would imagine that you guys would be well, of course, when it's multiple, when it's two of you, you probably like have the nerve to like, okay, we'll talk to if we'll talk to a homeless person, like we'll get there. Yeah, which is, I mean, it's gutsy and it's ballsy, but information's information.
No, I remember she said that you were with Trevor, right? When you're at that one place eating.
Oh yeah.
And then the old man or old
that
lady.
was the old lady.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorites. And then it's like so funny that she like tells it to other people, and this is just random lady that she's never gonna meet.
Yeah, it's crazy having like these like stories, right? That you can like not only do you have the information, but now you're more interesting for having got
That's true.
The info. So it's like, yeah,
but it was cool talking to her because me and Trevor didn't know each other, and when she started talking to us, we're like, oh my gosh, that was crazy, and we had like something to talk about. So it was cool.
And then if you brought her up today, you guys like, and now it's an inside joke.
Yeah, like, oh
yeah,
she bought us ice cream.
Wasn't she sexy?
Yeah, this old lady
that bought me ice cream.
She was talking to everyone.
Yeah, so cute. That's gonna be you. That's you as the old lady in a
That's
green
me
hat.
in the future. She's like, yeah,
green vest.
Just kidding.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so now I'm not sure like where to go, because part of me is like, okay, do I ask about school? I mean, I could keep like, so what's your what are you focusing on right now, Izzy?
Me?
Like as far as like your school?
So I'm a business major, and I'm in economics right now, but I want to focus on marketing and everything. But I'm in school because it's important and I'm learning and everything like that. I feel like it's a good life thing to do. But I'm wanting to tattoo and I've been tattooing and stuff. And actually my friend, his uncle's a tattoo artist, and he's like talking about giving me a mentor, like an apprenticeship and stuff. But I don't know if I would have the time to like go fully with it. But I do want to go in there and ask him questions and stuff and everything like that. All the questions that I can't tell myself, because when I tattoo, it's like a learning process for me because I'm teaching myself and I learn as I go. So I do have questions that I don't have anybody to answer. So this should be good.
Yeah. Have you found anybody like via social media, or do you like have you used the like internet to answer some of like your
yeah, but some
questions?
are really specific that the internet can't answer. But I did talk to this one tattooer one time, and he's like convinced me a lot to actually go for tattooing. And so I could go back and ask him some questions because he was really nice to me and helped me a lot. So
good, man. Yeah. Is the how many tattoos are you have you lost count, or do you know, like, is there a number that
I think I've lost count, but
I have 3 of them.
Yeah, Jenna has some. Jenna has really simple ones though.
Yeah, they're simple. Giovanna has really like detailed. She just did like a koi fish one and it looks so good.
Yeah, Giovanna's been helping me out with the shading, because the shading's the part that I need practice on. So people need to trust me with harder ones to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna learn. And tattooing is humbling. Oh my god.
I will if I no, I'll let you give me a tattoo as like a payment for being on the podcast or whatever. It'll be your side. You can put I don't know. I think
practice. Don't you want to be a part of the beginning of my journey?
You can't say no.
I do.
You're not allowed to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like well, I guess like this with the apprenticeship, do you have like goals with like goals with the apprenticeship, or is it just like like I imagine like when you become an apprentice, it's like, okay, so I'm going to soak up as much as I can from this person, right? Yeah.
So you have to go through an apprenticeship to get your license, and I think I want to talk to as many tattoo artists as I can, and so to find like the one that I want to mentor me and everything. And tattooing is like you're learning every day you tattoo. So yeah, you learn during your apprenticeship, but I'm gonna be learning every day that I tattoo.
Yeah.
Because you can be tattooing for 40 years and then this new kid will come in that you've never seen before and do this technique that you never even heard of or thought of, and you're like, whoa. So
yeah, that's interesting that like you wouldn't expect or you don't think, okay, so this meeting is running out, I need to upgrade, but so like man, okay, so you you wouldn't think that basically like innovation is something that you'd see in like tattooing, like when you think of innovation, like you don't think of it that way, but it's just, yeah, it's
like any art. Think of like painting. This painter could be like a master at their work, but somebody can come up with this new technique that they never even thought to try, or to make this texture that you never knew how to make, but somebody can do it that you like never saw before. I think it could go with anything where you're creating something, you know?
Yeah. And that also makes me think of like one, I feel like if you're teaching somebody something, right? If you're teaching somebody something, you should have the aim of them getting better than you at some point. And I think you can't have a unhealthy ego or an overactive ego in order to have that mind, right?
Yeah, I heard an interview of a tattoo artist, and he said that exact same thing, that should be the goal, but unfortunately a lot of it is ego driven, and then insecurities, and oh god, like they're actually really good, like wait a second, so then like maybe sabotage for the career starts to happen. So that's why I also want to make sure that whoever mentors me is a good person.
Yeah. Because you want ethics. Ethics is almost like you want ethics sort of to be involved in an apprenticeship in an odd way.
I'm going to be spending a lot of time with them and anybody in that shop. So I want to get more than also just the tattooing out of it. They can teach me a lot about life and everything. Because I'm young. I don't know anything. I need I would love mentors.
Yeah, that's great. Keep looking for them and like if
I have 10% on my phone, so we got like 10 minutes left or something.
Okay. Is there anything else that you like want to put out into the universe or anything for people trying to meet their goals or whatever?
Jenna, what is your life motto? What do you live by day to day?
Oh my gosh.
You should have that.
I in my Instagram bio, there's a song lyric and it says use what you've got, not what you're missing. And I really love like that message. Like don't like focus on what other people have, like go with yourself and like use what you have. That's what I like.
Happiness is already in your hands. What band is that?
Mild High Club.
Yeah. And isn't it start with an S or something?
Skip Tracing.
Oh, Skip Tracing.
All of their lyrics are kind of like that. They have like really cool lyrics.
It's poetic.
Yeah. Yours. Your life motto.
I was like, you should know it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
you need to know.
I think that you can choose to see things like you choose how you see it. So you can either choose to have a bad experience with whatever's happening or a good one. It's how you take it. Half full, half empty shit.
Wait.
Shane's motto.
Oh gosh, turning it around. It's probably something as simple works sometimes. Like gotta see the glass half full.
Oh.
That's I think that's a good one. I also you can also go with the I'll stick with that one because it's light unless I'll stick with that one for now. I'll stick with that one for now. Yeah, don't
count your chickens.
Well, the seats outside, what do you call those? The audience seats.
The hecklers.
Yeah, don't count your eggs before they hatch? Chickens before they hatch. So yeah. Sorry about that. Well, okay, so play. So that's sort of like play the hand you're dealt. So that's basically Jenna's in different words. But yeah. So I hope that was all useful for the. Hope that was all useful. I also like it's sort of like a little bit more rugged, but it's no one cares, work harder.
Like, no one,
yeah.
We have the first person, like the main character syndrome, but nobody cares what you're doing.
Yeah, and that almost makes it more a challenge.
I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Stuck on.
Okay.
Really though.
Oh, no. We've been looking at all of you. Oh.
Okay. So those are our sayings, and we'll throw those in. But yeah. So thank you, Isabella, for being on. I really thank
all
for
of my circle ideas. I go in circles when I speak.
And that's good. Like you've gotta like you're working on something. Like it's yeah. No, it's good. It's good. And it seems like you're getting a ways with your method. Yeah. And thank you, Jenna, also for stopping by. We should
guest star. We paid a lot of money for you to show.
You're not supposed to say anything.
Forgot.
This is
okay. So I'm going to do you have anywhere that your work can be found on social media?
On my Instagram. I need to make a separate account, but it's my personal account.
Okay. And I will we'll put that link in the description.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then here I will stop